Hello folks, today we're going to talk about how to do mole conversions, which is addressed in Unit 3, Standard 1. So to give you some background for information about the mole, we talked previously about how scientists could use mass spectroscopy to measure the mass of individual atoms and then calculate the average atomic mass. And so the next step for scientists in figuring out how atoms made up the world around them was to start talking about how many individual atoms were inside objects that were large enough for them to see. And they knew that this was going to be a really big number because each individual atom was so small. So having calculated that one atom of hydrogen had a mass of about 1 atomic unit, they decided that it would be helpful to establish that the number of atoms in 1 gram of hydrogen was going to be called 1 mole. They wanted their math to be easy, so they established a lot of ones. And it took them a really long time to kind of work backwards and figure out how many atoms that would be. And in 1910, a French scientist worked out that 1 mole has 6.02 times 10 to the 23rd atoms. And they named this number after Avogadro, who was a scientist whose work was published in 1811. So this was before Europe had contact with the Americas. So there's no correlation between Avogadro's name and avocados, even though those words sound very similar. Be careful when you're talking about Avogadro and his work. And even though the French scientist was working 100 years after Avogadro, Avogadro's work was so influential that the scientist named this number, the number of particles in a mole, after Avogadro. And this number is considered to be so important that it is the first piece of information in your chemistry reference tables. On the very first page, under general constants, Avogadro's number is provided to you as 6.022 times 10 to the 23rd particles for every 1 mole. And this ratio is kind of similar to our definition of a dozen. Right? A dozen is 12 of something for every 1 dozen. And then you've got variations, like a baker's dozen is 13 of something for every 1 baker's dozen. So we use the word mole kind of similarly to how you might use the word dozen in everyday English. It is a shortcut to describe a particular number of an object. Because of the way that we defined a mole, right, the number of atoms in 1 gram of hydrogen, that makes it really easy for us to figure out the mass of different elements in 1 mole. And so in order to figure out how many grams of an element you need to get 1 mole of those atoms, you just take the average atomic mass from the periodic table and write it in as that number of grams in 1 mole. This is a very helpful consequence of the way that scientists initially defined a mole, because we don't have to memorize a different number for every element and compound. We can just look them up on the periodic table. If you are working with a compound, you are adding up the masses of each atom that is inside of that compound. So for example, water has 2 hydrogen atoms and 1 oxygen atom inside of the water molecule. So if we needed to know how many grams of water molecules we would need to have 1 mole of water molecules, we would add up hydrogen 1.008, we would add that up twice because it's H2, and then we would add oxygen, which is 15.999 or 16.00, depending on which periodic table you're looking at, and that would get us to about 18 grams of water in order to have 1 mole of water molecules. So again, we don't have to memorize that water is 18 grams for every 1 mole. Because of the way we looked it up on the periodic table, we can just kind of add up those numbers and figure out how many grams we would need to get 1 mole. From your guided notes on what is a mole, you can see this particular process. Because a mole is defined as a certain number of atoms, we can use Avogadro's number to switch back and forth from moles to atoms. So if I said I had 24 eggs, right, you could use the 12 eggs as 1 dozen ratio to figure out that I had 24 eggs, which would be a big recipe. I don't know what you would make that would require 24 eggs. And so similarly, we can use Avogadro's number to go from moles to number of atoms or molecules. Because of the way that we defined the number of atoms based on the mass on the periodic table, we can also go from moles to grams using the molar mass that we have looked up on the periodic table. So some people talk about the mole bridge. If you Google help for this topic, you might come across that phrase, the mole bridge. And that is because we can use moles to get from atoms to grams, but we have to pass through moles as a unit in order to get in between those two ends, atoms and grams. So let's start looking at some example calculations. So here's an example where we are going from mass to moles. We're asked how many moles of NH3 are in 13.07 grams. And so we're going to go to the periodic table and we're going to find hydrogen and nitrogen because that is what the compound is made of. And we're going to add up those masses. So hydrogen being 1.008, we would add 3 of those. Because it's NH3, and then nitrogen 14.01. There's only 1 copy of nitrogen in the formula, so we would only add that once. And that's going to bring our total molar mass for the compound to 17.034 grams per mole. Once we have that ratio, we can take our initial mass, 13.07 grams, and multiply it by that ratio. And since we have grams NH3 on top and grams NH3 on bottom, they will cancel out because we have grams divided by grams. So into our calculator, we would type 13.07 times 1 divided by 17.034, and our calculator would spit out a number like this. Remember that calculators do not know how to handle significant figures, and so they make up as many digits as possible. So then it's our responsibility to round that big old number down to the appropriate number of significant figures. The only number given in the problem is 13.07, which has 4 significant figures in it. The 0 is trapped in between the 3 and the 7. So we're going to round our calculator answer down to 0.7673 moles of NH3. Right, so we've got our 4 significant digits, and then we look at the next number to decide which way to round, and 8 would tell us to round up, so the 7.2 becomes 7.3. Looking at another example, going in the opposite direction from moles to mass, we're asked how many grams of NH4 are in 1.05 moles. How many grams are in 1.05 moles? So our first step is going to be to go to the periodic table and look up hydrogen and nitrogen because they are the elements given in the formula. And we're going to need to add them up because we're working with a compound. So we're going to add 1 copy of hydrogen and, 4 copies of hydrogen, my apologies, because it's H4, and 1 copy of nitrogen. And that will get us to 18.042 grams per mole as our molar mass. Now that we have that, we can take the number given in the problem, 1.05, multiply it by our ratio. We're going to have moles in the numerator, so we're going to place, when we write our ratio, we're going to place moles in the denominator. And since we have moles over moles, those will cancel, and we'll be left with grams of NH4. Into our calculator, we would type 1.05 times 18.042, and we should get a number that looks like this, 18.9441 grams of NH4. Again, the calculator does not handle significant figures, so we're going to have to do it for it. When we go back to our original problem, the number 1.05 has 3 significant figures, the 0 being trapped in between the 1 and the 5. So to round this, we're going to have the 1, the 8, and the 9, and then to make our rounding decision, we would look at the next digit, which is a 4. 4s mean that we should round down, so we're going to round this down to 18.9 grams of NH4 in 1.05 moles of NH4. Looking at our final example, going all the way across the mole bridge, we're asked how many grams of nitrogen are in 1 million atoms. And they give us 1 million as a scientific notation, right? 1.0 times 10 to the 6th, which gives us 2 significant figures to work with, which is nice because we don't like it when we get 1 sig fig. So we would go to the periodic table and we would look up the mass of 1 mole of nitrogen, which is 14.01. And then we would also get Avogadro's number from the periodic table so that we can take atoms to moles and then use our molar mass from the periodic table to go from moles to grams. When we write our ratios, since we're starting with atoms, we want atoms to be in the denominator so that they will cancel out. And then when we write our molar mass ratio, we want moles to go into the denominator, so that moles will cancel out. And we will be left with grams of nitrogen, which was listed as the target unit in our problem. When we plug into our calculator, 1 times 10 to the 6th divided by 6.022 times 10 to the 23rd times 14.01, we should get a number that looks like this. Be very careful when you are dividing by Avogadro's number, the 6.02 times 10 to the 23rd. You're going to want to use parentheses around that number in your calculator. Because if you don't use parentheses, the 10 to the 23rd flips up into the numerator. So you want to put parentheses around this to make sure that the power of 10 stays in the denominator. And if your calculator answer comes out as something other than 10 to the 17th, that's probably what happened, is the 10 to the 23rd in your work flipped up into the numerator somehow. This is a very small number, but we are going to need to round it. As I mentioned earlier, the number in the problem has 2 significant figures, 1.0. That 0 is an ending 0 on the right-hand side of the decimal. So when we go to round our calculator answer, we've got the 2 and the 4 as our 2 sig figs, and then we make a rounding decision based off of the next digit. Since the next digit is a 6, we're going to be rounding up to 2.5 times 10 to the negative 17th grams of nitrogen. So even with a large number of atoms, like a million, we still have a very small mass, and that is because each individual atom is so tiny. All right, folks, so today we talked about 2 ratios, Avogadro's number, which is the ratio between moles and atoms, and we also talked about the molar mass, which is the ratio between moles and mass. The molar mass makes it a little easier to remember what it's the ratio between. Avogadro's number is not as easy to remember, but remember that it is provided in the chemistry reference tables, so you don't have to memorize it. Just know how to use it. And we looked at a couple examples of switching between mass and moles, and using moles to switch between atoms and grams. Thank you very much, and have a great day.